This is Frank, and today out I've got my Orbital Pegasus. So this XL. So this is a small satellite launcher that they carried under a Lockheed L-1011 modified, and they drop it. Rocket motor would light. It would use the wings to accelerate upward, and then the forward half had a second rocket motor and would put a small payload into orbit. This uses 4-inch tubing, 3D printed cone, 9mm Depron wing and tail surfaces. On this one, just like the real one, I'm running just the tail controls. It's got a 2836 2200 kV motor like my other big ones with an APC 6.4 prop, 40 amp speed control, and a little hatch in the bottom for a 4-cell 2200 pack. And this weighs about 34.5 ounces ready to fly. Sometimes that's okay for these big ones. Roll rate's pretty decent for just a bit. Loops are nice and tight. It's a little gusty for inverted. The tails are actually cranked down. They have a little anhedral, which doesn't seem to bother it too much for normal flying. Inverted, it gets a little twitchy. The motor thrust line is high to match the wing. It also gets it up into the airstream instead of being behind that big body tube. But what that does is when you roll inverted, it tends to push the nose up. Inverted, but I mean, no reason to be flying inverted in this thing anyway. But that's another nice, graceful flying big model. Bear rolls, loop rolls, Udesses and all. That's kind of a neat look. I don't think they're flying these anymore. I think their cost got fairly expensive compared to what other launchers could provide. But in the day, it was a much cheaper alternative. The advantage in dropping it under an aircraft is a lot of the fuel and the weight and getting satellites in the air or getting started and off the ground. So if you're starting at 30 or 35,000 feet already and you've got the wing to help provide some lift, you can get by with a much smaller rocket motor to get your satellite in the air. Neat looking model. Sort of Tomahawk cruise missile. This just used a solid fuel first stage. I think the second stage was also. There are also, I think, rocket motors in the trailing edges of the fins, so that when you got to higher altitude, even if aerodynamically they couldn't do anything, you could still angle them, and the rocket motors would give you some thrust vectoring. And this is flying at about a half throttle. Good.